going on is here. The best thing that you can do for mics, the closer the mic is to your voice, the better it's going to sound, the less feedback issues you're going to have. The clearer your articulation will become very accurate. You want that mic close. You don't have to heat it, it's close, right? Yeah, there is a little bit of monitors for you in the back so that you can hear each other. When Alan gets here, I will open it up to you for a few minutes. Make sure you hear everybody on both sides. If you have any issues, please don't hesitate to tell me.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, just to keep them on that.
Any issues like that?
You come here every year? Me too.
It was a good run though.
Check.
Check.
I'm good.
Yeah, we're good. Check. Mic close. You want me to be like, hey. Okay. That's it. Check.
Check, check. Check.
Yeah, give it a little more soft spoken so don't be scared to get up. Hear each other.
Yeah.
Once the ambient music gets down, or quiet, let me know when you're ready.
All right, well, we'll just wait for, this is still one more person. All right, that's fine. All right, another minute.
Pass around.
That's,
I already got this.
Oh.
Today, yes.
Maybe I'll get a reading. One reading. You like it too?
I already got it.
Yes, it is. This one here. Evil eye. Protection. You want to come in here?
I'll just let a few more people in. Okay. Okay, ready to blast off with some amazing high frequency energies? Let's
Yes.
Okay, you're in the right place then. My name's Alan Steinfeld, and I love coming to these expos. Thank you. This is where our community gathers together. We compare notes. We meet each other. We take this back out into the world, everything we've heard and learned here in exchange, and we increase the vibration of the rest of the world by our increased vibration and healing frequencies. And that's why this panel is really some major experts in the field from around the world that have come here to talk to us today, which I'm really excited about because we know healing, vibration frequency is the medicine of the future. There's some people here who actually have some devices that you can lay on downstairs and experience that, and there's other people who just send the vibration through their essence and being. So I'll go around the panel and just say their name. They could give a brief introduction to their work, and then we'll get into a major deep dive discussion about what's really going on. And it's like, this is the same thing. Everyone has their own instrument vibration that we're contributing to the whole field here. So there's lots of different approaches, and it's all about supporting who we are as we evolve to our next level of awakening consciousness. That's what I love this particular panel. So we'll start at my end there with my friend Masadi. And I was going to say, when he was he was working on me as I was asking him questions, which I thought that was a real fun sort of thing. But thanks so much for being here. He's back on the scene. What do you have to say about your work?
Well, after being near-death experiences, I've traversed the field and understand what we're all about. So what I do is transform you. I see where you're brilliant, and then I also see where there's, like, say, drag in your system, whether it's genetic patterns, relationship type patterns, or anything like that, and help you, like, remove them rather quickly. And you don't have to tell me a thing.
He just knows.
I just
Next to him is my good friend Aurora. Actually, we're going to start off with a little sound bowl, like setting the tone. Let's set the tone with a tone. Okay. Go. That's not just a bowl, you told me it's a vitamin D bowl? D, but there's vitamins, there's vitamins in the bowl? Oh, there you go.
So that's very helpful. This is really big.
But are we getting the vitamins when you do the bowls?
Yes, if you think about yourself as not just a physical being. Yes, sorry. Talking to Alan, so.
Oh, it's okay.
So if you think of yourself as a physical being, and again, if any of you are at the opening, we're mostly water. So our body is going to respond first to sound. And then whatever is vibrating off of that sound is not only going to be impacted on a physical level, you'll experience it in all of your energy body. And if you think about what vitamin D does for us, it's a very powerful part of our immune system, right? Going out into the sun. And generally when you take vitamin D, you have to take other vitamins to actually get absorption into your body. And this is like a whole other way of experiencing, receiving the frequency and activating your immune and autoimmune response.
Wow, that's great. So I don't have to take vitamins, I'll just take a bowl.
Maybe a little bit of both, just to cover all your bases.
And is there anything else you want to say about what you do?
Sure. Most of my work is empowerment. So my desire is to help you understand that, again, everything that you think, everything that you speak is creating your reality. You're not a manifestor, you're an architect. So if that's true, the reality that you're creating is actually within your capacity to completely shift. I can tell you I had 9 near-death experiences by the time I was 5 years old. I came in with a lot of fun, so I watched myself be victim and create a whole new life. So that's my invitation for all of us.
I can't believe between two people there's 12 near-death experiences. All right, this is not a competition. All right, thanks, Aurora. Okay, we have my good friend Amy Robertson. Robertson. And she's an Akashic record, she's a channel, she's a light language, we'll do some light language later. But explain what you do.
I'm a Akashic record master teacher. I teach people how to get answers on demand, and I speak light codes and light language to help break out of trance. So this frequency that you're in, we can break you out of trance, and I help restructure the DNA with light and the Akashic records as well.
And we're going to do some of that today, right? You're part of the experiment. We're going to mix all these frequencies. There's a lot of frequencies going on here, and we're going to try to mix them and amplify them. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Because we're working this. Greco, she's here for the first time, right? All right. Tell us
Virgin. Not the virgin.
we don't have to go there. But tell them what you do.
Well, I'm going to help you unlock your hidden energy codes. So my work is all about bringing your authentic self back online. Because so much of our life, we have all these old beliefs that tell us who we are and how we're supposed to feel. So my work is helping you to clear those out of your energy field so more of you can come back online. Because it's never been damaged, it can't go away, and we're just activating what's already there. And I want everybody to know that wherever you're at is the best place to be. Just be in the moment and surrender to whatever is happening in your life, because when you do that, it speeds up the whole healing process.
But one question, how do you actually do that? Clear that. I mean, what do you actually do?
Bring out so I channel a lot of my work, but then I tap into your energy field, I tap into your higher self. And what I do is I start to see the codes around you, and some of them are blocked. And it's almost like something takes me over where I move them around like Rubik's Cubes almost. And then what we do is we move any of the dense energy in your emotional field, in your mental field, that no longer resonates with you. And the minute that I start clearing, well, I should say assisting you in clearing it out, all of a sudden you allow more of that higher version of you to flow through you. And it's when I see that light in somebody where it's almost like they come back online, it just makes me so happy. And then when they stay grounded in that, right, it's so magical, right?
So you can do that for a group of people, not just one-on-one?
Yes, we can do
Okay,
a little bit of that as well.
Okay, I'm excited.
I know between the bowl,
The goals, everything. We're going to be different people when we leave here.
millions.
Okay, that's my feeling. And we, is that anything else? Oh, I'll come back to it. Okay, great. Dr. Chanel, Sehon.
Dr. Charnel.
Okay, Dr. Chanel, naturopath, very much connected to frequency healing, energy, higher consciousness.
Yes. So I have written 6 books. 2 of them just came out last night on iboga, and the workbook for the science of miracles. My favorite thing is to talk about miracles, because every one of you are one, and every one of you have the capacity to walk. I think that with the programming, like they've been talking about, sometimes we think things are going to be a certain way, and we make up things and we miscreate. But I had an encounter with 2 beings that came to me, and they had all these books and all these amazing things, and they started giving me the actual formula on how to create miracles. And I started applying that in my life, in my kids' life, and we were doing crazy things like bilocating and having crazy dreams and money showing up and, relationships showing up. And so it can, I would say you can't pee in the pool and hope it doesn't get everywhere. There's like not a smoking section, it's like energy is energy. And so if we're leaking, we need to find out where those issues are so we can plug them up and recreate them. And in the meantime, we're just And
So don't leak in the pool.
don't be in the pool.
Right, but how do you actually work?
So, yeah, thank you. I do soul audits where I can see where you are on the map of consciousness. I know you're familiar with David Hawkins.
Yeah.
He's my man.
Yeah.
We do kinesiology, I have biofeedback, and then I have a ton of amazing, like actual physical things as a naturopath. And these guys have some great stuff too. Just because when we can tune up our physical body, that happens. I don't think a lot of people talk about how that affects the spiritual. Because again, we separate, but there is no separation. That when we're tuning this up physically, we're also helping our spiritual, which changes our energy. So it's all together.
Yeah.
And these guys are great too. They have some amazing, powerful tools as well.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, we have the technology guys here at the end who have incredible machines, activation. I mean, scientists that are taking science to a new level of vibration. So Paul Harris has created the Therify. I recommend doing it downstairs in the exhibit hall, international. So Paul, you want to talk about your technology?
Sure. Yeah, I've worked with resonant frequency therapies for over 30 years, I guess now, and started out in the early days with Wright type machines and building electronics. I work a lot with high voltage Tesla coils and those kind of things. And so basically my primary interest is using plasma for the interface. And I like to consider the devices I make sort of consciously assisted technologies that interface with consciousness, basically, because if the universe is 99.99% plasma, I believe it's our interface to many other realms, and it connects us with every point in the universe at the same time. And using frequencies, I experimented a lot with different frequencies. In the old days, we used to just use, square wave, destructive frequencies, and we were kind of doing what Wright was doing with the mortal oscillating rate and trying to destroy viruses and bacteria. But about 10 or 15 years ago, I thought, isn't there a way to use this harmonically and be more supportive to the body and more inclusive, more connected, more coherent? And so that's how the Therify sort of evolved.
But can you just explain what plasma is? It's sort of like what quantum was 10 years ago. Everyone's using that term. What is plasma?
Yeah, well, plasma is like the fourth state of matter. So you have solids, liquids, gas. And when those things get really excited, the more energy you put into a gas, it starts to emit photons. So plasma is basically a gas that's emitting photons, and you see the visible colors like neon or those kind of things. So what's happening is the other electrons on the valences are jumping off, and when they jump back on, they get excited, they jump off and on the ions inside of the gas, and every time they do, they release a photon. So you can pack those photons with information, and that's essentially what it is.
But our bodies are plasma too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's various different degrees of plasma, and so there's dark plasmas that you don't really see in the kind of plasma that you see light up like that. But water's plasma as well. Like, when you really think about it, it's pretty in.
It's a plasma universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll try to digest some of that. Thanks. But the technology is great. I don't care what he says that. No, it is really good. So at the end, Gianfranco, and he has a mind, body, whole thing, sound, light, frequency, embodiment. Tell him what you do.
Hi, everybody. So, yeah, we have a technology, we call it Soulburdelics, and basically it gives us the recreate trance, out-of-body, psychedelic-like experiences using perfectly coherent light, sound, and vibration, and totally without drugs. Our systems are designed to heal those, but generally we are discoherent. Things happen to us, bodies get out of line, and I love what Shannon said. I mean, we've got bodies for a reason. All of this spiritual stuff is absolutely awesome. A lot of the time the issues are in our tissues, and it's necessary to physically get a coherent frequency situation happening. We do that using vibroacoustic lounge, perfectly frequency tuned headphones, music going in and flickering like pulses so that we are completely taking over all the senses and taking you out of that thinking material world.
Then we'll go back this way. Talk about because this is the future, vibrational medicine, healing has been around the world. So how would we use what you're doing as a new medicine, new upgrade for the human body?
So, there's a lot of people now chasing plant medicine journeys, looking for healing, and rightfully so, everybody needs healing, but what a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of these medicines were never intended for us to take directly. Shamanic traditions always have the shaman taking the medicine. The shaman goes into the astral plane for you and does battle with your demons because we're not trained on how to do it. And that's why some people get into trouble when they do these things. We've created a technology that allows for that state that's created. It's called hypnagogia. It's trance. It's right in the middle of sleep and being awake, and we take you out of time. And all things that exist in time, if you get rid of time, disappear. And guess what exists in time? Everything around us. And that's what people are chasing with these psychedelics, and we give people a way of doing that endogenously using their own chemistry.
Mm-hmm. And you have a booth downstairs where people can experience that. Well, I'm going. I need to get out of time. Okay, Paul, so you have a medicine, a vibrational medicine. Talk about in terms of like healing medicine.
Yeah, I guess when it comes down to the pieces of physics, chemistry, all these different scientific fields, medical biology, it's really all about charge. So the basis of everything is electricity, ultimately. So we live in an electric universe, and everything is resonating and vibrating at different frequencies. And it's very complex. It's not as simple as saying, oh yeah, the liver is, 416 years, and you hear a lot of that kind of stuff, but it's much more complex than that. So the way I see it is it's like waves upon waves upon waves. And everything is intimately connected. And we have to go back to the ether theory, ultimately. Like this sort of got dismissed. They said, well, when Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, the Michael-Morley experiment that, couldn't prove that the ether existed, therefore it doesn't exist, and we forgot about it. But what's really happening in the science realm right now, with where quantum mechanics and everything's done, we're like, we have to go back to this ether theory, because what we're understanding about the atomic nature of reality is that these are all complex waveforms, and everything's spinning. They're like braids within braids within braids, and knots within knots within knots, and all matter moves in this field we call the ether. The ether is a way of communicating and transporting all these energetic frequencies. It connects the entire universe together. And because we are walking transceivers, literally, our spinal column transmits and receives these signals. That's why you get the feel when you walk into a room, you can feel the crowd, or you can feel the people, or the energetics and that. As we become more sensitive to that, we become more conscious about our intimate connection with all things. And so for me, that's the big part of it, so one.
Would you say ether's like a subtle form of plasma? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like still invariant because it's fractal, right? And it reoccurs. So you have these patterns. When you zoom out and you look at the cosmos and you see galaxies spinning, and then you see solar systems and going all the way down to the atomic structure. We used to believe it was like a little miniature solar system, but now we realize that it's just vortices. It's all vortexes. Vortices within vortices that hold all this together. So my work is how do we manipulate those fields with a field effect with plasma. And not only are we doing healing effects with it, but we're also transmuting matter, turning one element into another, creating energy, tapping the 0 point. This really is the key to all those things. And it's amazing that it's all connected together. So you want anti-gravity, everybody wants infinite amounts of energy. These things are all the underlying principles that we're working with, basically. And it's all
Great. So it really is a new science of a high vibration of health and healing, possibility,
and consciousness.
Yes, thank you, okay. Dr. Charnel, how do you work then with the vibration in your practice?
Yeah, so for me, anything that can be measured can be managed. And so we don't know what we don't know. And so a lot of the technologies that I have will identify like what is going on with you specifically. What can be customized for you specifically. Maybe you do need plant medicine. Maybe you need what Raphael has, you know. There's so many different tools, and all of us are so different. So it's not a cookie cutter thing like in the Western medicine, where they like take this pill and let's get the light not to blink anymore. You know, we're all so different. We're so multifaceted. So I have to look at you as an individual and pinpoint like where are the blocks, what's going on, like parasites. Parasites, pretty much everybody has them. You don't have to be overseas to have them. We started doing this monthly group parasite cleanse on a specific modality that we're using to get rid of them. And we did intro and exit information together just to make sure we're all on the same page. And when we cleared those parasites, at the end, one of the questions was, we had some weird things that came up. Like someone was saying, my ex-narcissist boyfriend quit calling. It's so weird. Or I got this job. Or money came in that came out of nowhere. And what happens is parasites physically in the body have their own frequency too. They're alive and they're sucking the life out of the person that they're the host, right? And so when we get rid of the parasites, people can think clearly, they can function, and they're not sending out a signal because they all have their own signal. We all have different signals. Our DNA has signals. What we think and talk about all have signals, but we're not projecting, hey, I'm a good victim. That's not going out there anymore. People will only submit to your lowest common denominator. So we got to get to the root of whatever it is. Let's say it's parasites. Let's say it's vitamins. Let's say it's a trauma from second grade or whatever. You know, Nick cheerleader or something. You know, it's like we can find that root and then we remove the signal and we replace it with something really beautiful. Your real true essence comes out. And guess what? Then you start attracting miracles and fun things and all the good stuff that we were born to be here for. You know, so that's what I love.
Wow, I really like that. I'm gonna applaud. Only because, you know, when someone says something, you put something together, like, it's like, oh, really, I didn't think about that. It's like, you know. Our frequency that is lowering our frequency, and when we get rid of those things, our field actually changes, which is what
parasites also attract more parasites because they think you're a good host. So that's just an example. But
some people like to be a good host, but not with parasites. No. But I know what you're saying, and I think it's really true. The trauma is lowering vibration, bad eating habits. I mean, if you want to get into that, all that. And so we're here. So how can we be our best ever?
I would say get measured. You know, maybe soul audits, biofeedback, things like that, where we can look at hormones and liver and the whole body. But we also look at the spiritual. We look to see if there's any dark energies. We look at there's entities. You know, there's certain things like some of the plant medicine or drinking or different things that can bring entities and invite them like a key to our actual field. Like then they have like full access. We can get a game plan for, you know, how we can get you to the perfect place.
Wow, thank you. Okay, Martha.
I'm just fantasizing about all the little parasites in my body. Don't like they're doing dances or they attractive.
Don't fantasize about that. You encourage them. No, don't be a better host. But you work also on a frequency level. Talk about your frequency. I mean, how do you work with people when you're dealing with them on a frequency level?
So how do I work with you? Listen, I want to start from this point. Because when I first started this work, I don't know about you guys, but it was all about I want to go higher. I want to feel more. It was all about escape, right? And the higher I went, the better I felt. I wanted to join more circles, maybe take sacred medicine where it's legal. But, you know, I was all about going up. But then what I found out as I came more into my body, there was always this space where everything was slower. All of a sudden my problems were coming up. Like, I don't want to say I was an a-hole in my real life, but in my spiritual life, I was like, namaste, you know, like, I felt amazing. So I saw that discord, and that's the space where I really do my work, is how do I get comfortable in that gap? And that's what I try to teach my clients too, because we're always in that gap, right? We're either feeling really good or we're feeling human.
So what I found is just simple things of creating a kinder inner voice for myself. So instead of reacting in the same old way, using a horrible tone like, oh, why are you still doing that? Or you're not worthy of this high energy, or whatever that old program is, I started to notice it, and instead of judging it and becoming a victim to it and feeling terrible for a week, I started pausing and I started feeling, where's that energy in my body just coming up right now? Like, oh, I feel tension in my stomach. And I was working with it and like, oh, I feel it in my stomach. Okay, now instead of connecting to the story, I started just to notice how it felt and say it was anger or shame, and then I would follow it. And then I kind of started to treat myself as the higher self, like, hey, let this go, let this energy go, like that's not you anymore. And the more I started to, which I think that's what we always hear, like just surrender. You're like, I want to surrender. like I gotta fight this. But it's more of that feeling that I'm surrendering and allowing the emotion to move through me. And in that space, all of a sudden I get that higher download of light coming to me. And if we think about it, because we say this mantra all the time, or at least I know I do, where I am light, I am energy, I am love. But then really, I'm looking at it through the eyes of a human. And for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, guys, you are the higher self. We're the higher self taming this wild horse, taming this body. So instead of me being a jerk to my body, like, oh, you're still here, you're still doing that, I started treating it like my higher, angelic, galactic, whatever resonates with you, self. And I was like, hey, you're doing awesome, you're doing okay, you got this, and ground. And the more you start to bring your light in, now all of a sudden it's like your world is emerging and you're lucid in your life. It's giving me goosebumps. I feel like we're all getting downloads. Because it's like, yeah, you are that higher self. And to remember, this is just your avatar that comes with programs and comes with beliefs. And we all wanted to have these experiences, which is fantastic. But now can you have that experience without judging yourself? Can you take a step back and allow yourself just to feel a little bit more love instead of being stuck in that old voice? I think as we give ourselves more freedom to be present and expand and try something new. I always find, like, for me, this is super uncomfortable, right? But I'm like, oh, how many triggers and how many programs are going to come up for me? Now, instead of fighting those programs, how do I heal myself in real time? Because we can always sit but then we go in the real world and we're like, but I'm like, again, how do I be present, be here, and allow more of myself to shine and deal with those triggers as they come up? And I think that's what I love to encourage and everybody around me, because I see their light. And I want to remind them that you're so much more than your body. So when I work with you, that's where we start. I see your light, and then we just start removing programs. Like, oh, you don't need this. This is something from your past. This is something maybe your teacher gave you. This is a parasite now that is. I picked up at a bar last night. Maybe two.
Okay. No, you can take care of it. No, you throwing me in. No, but I like what you're saying because I remember I broke up, I'm not too personal, I broke up with this girlfriend once and I would feel like this energy, but I didn't call it like sadness, I just felt it in the body and tracked it through the body and then it changed. Changed into love and all the things that were repressed. And so what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's what you really start to see, and it's so funny, it's so simple, and you hear it all the time, that how it's just love. Like really, that's the key. If you, and I always think of,
No,
I'm so Canadian, I'm like, is this too much?
Canadian?
I
That
am.
is something.
I know also I can't say whatever.
You got to give the voice. Okay. Go ahead. No, please, continue a little bit. No, go to the.
Okay.
Okay.
But again, coming back to love, and I love to think of the heart space as your bridge. So I get rid of all the labels of how much love can I give this person? Oh, I started taking around you so much power. But instead, just start to treat your heart space as the bridge between higher awareness and the earth energy. So you're allowing your energy to go up and down that pillar, and then you're allowing it to go out of the heart and around you into the back. And as, well, you want to try it right now? You just,
We can try a little bit, yeah. I mean, we could come, why don't we come back to that? Because you've given us a lot to digest with all the parasites. No, you got, there's a lot to digest. But come back,
and then,
no, we'll come back. We'll do like a little demo on the way back down this way. No, the one other thing you said that I like was like, we have to take care of this body. This is like the animal we're living inside. This is our child, so we want to nourish it and love it because it's not really us. It is us, but we want to care.
because it's your car.
Yeah.
You're so identified with it. I'm like, oh, it's our vehicle, it's temporary. You have so many different
But
bodies.
it's our child. You want to feed it good things. You want to feed your child poison. That's how I look at it. So. Okay. So, thanks, Marissa. We'll continue a little bit. Amy, hi. Do you want to talk about and also share some of your energies here and talk about how you work with people? Yes, thank you.
You have over 13 trillion cells strands in them. Each and every one of us chose to be embodied in this experience. And our job is to activate our DNA through experiences. And within your DNA is held trauma and gifts, ancestral and soul. And so what I like doing is going inside of the Akashic Records, which holds every word, deed, thought from the moment your soul is incepted. And we can go in and explore the mind, body, soul. You can explore all aspects of your being. You have core aspects that hold you in the past, your inner child, your mind, your spirit body, your emotional body, your physical body, and your mental body, and the ego. And we're here to bring them up to the present moment and assist them in evolving. It's not about banishing any of them because they're part of who you are. It's about reparenting yourself back into wholeness. And so next time you have one of those weird negative thoughts, instead of going, oh, I'm doing a spiral again, you can literally ask, where is that coming from? Where am I at in space and time? Because you're energy. So part of you is somewhere in space and time reliving an old experience. And that old experience can be from this time period, a parallel timeline, or a previous timeline. And it's up to us to figure out where we're at. And what I like doing is I like teaching people how to do this for themselves because you are ultimately the only person that hangs out with you all day. And so when you get into the mind, and speaking of the mind, when you have a thought, that thought might not be yours. That thought might be coming from a dark force or an ancestor that wants you to either clean up or to influence you into believing that thought. Because not every thought is yours, and it can also be a part of a collective or different crazy consciousness that you're not supposed to be tapping into. But if that thought hooks you in, it's in, and then you got to get rid of it. And so what I like doing is using the records to understand who I am and what I'm doing or what my students are doing so they can figure this out. And then not being the victim is key. So instead of going, this is happening, it's, oh, that's interesting. Can I get curious about it so I can be empowered to change it, and I can be empowered to step out of that and into the frequency that I want to be in. And that's where empowerment comes in.
Thank you. So next time back, we'll do some demonstrations of the light language. Aurora, how are you doing?
Excellent, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm doing, I always love this, and because I get to be really present when I'm doing this, so it's therapy for me, thank you.
Glad to hear that.
But tell us about your approach to healing and how you work.
So I love to talk to people about what they're navigating. And so for instance, when your heart broke into, you find yourself listening to all the sad songs on the radio and watching all the love movies and then crying because that's not what's happening in your life. Or, when you're feeling really good, are you listening to music that's inspiring? I actually, one of the first things I ask most of my mentorship clients to do is make a happy list of music, by the way. Because sound is such a powerful mover of energy. And the other thing I'll ask people is, do you sing? And so many people are so judgmental of their voice because it may not sound beautiful. However, humming and singing, because it's your voice, your cells, your water. Right? So why wouldn't the all that is, however we came into this being, give you the magic to already bring what's healing for you to you? Right? So why wouldn't your own voice be the medicine? So I really work with people in a myriad of different ways. I love the technological piece, and I can't wait to sit with each one of the people on the other side. And I find it funny that we kind of divided based on how we work. It was almost like this natural, right? This is like a law of attraction. Right, exactly. You know, I love light language because it takes us out of the mind and into the heart, again, back into frequency, how we can move energy. I love the Akash because it teaches us that all of the energy we are right now comes from, you know, if all time is now, then we're actually living every expression of who we are all at once. But this life is the focus. So if this life is the focus, there's a reason. Obviously, we come in for this huge evolutionary process, and I like to help people figure out where they are in the process. You know, the first thing is really helping people understand, just like you were saying, like self-talk is huge. We underestimate what it is to hold yourself hostage when you make a mistake. Or leap of perfection. Perfection's a farce. It doesn't exist in human form. It exists in soul form. So we need to come back to the realization that healing is a process, and there's a myriad of different ways to go about it. And if we're not dealing with our emotions, and we're bypassing them, we may not get very far for very long. It's kind of like doing a parasite cleanse that only got the ones in your gut, and then 3 weeks later you feel poorly all over again because you, right? So the work that I do is we start with what's going on so that we can find the roots and gently integrate them. I would love to be mad at Lisa, which was my name for the first 39 years of my life. I made so many interesting choices. You can see the language I used there? Right? Not holding myself hostage. I made so many interesting choices because I didn't know. And now that I know, I don't have to be mad at her. I made a legal name change to Aurora Luna, but I'm not Aurora without first being Lisa. So there's a myriad of ways that I go about working with. We came to this planet in this timeline for a very specific purpose. Ascension, evolution, whatever all the fun words are that you want to use. We don't get there without understanding that we're here by divine purpose. Every single one of you is an important part to the evolution of this planet. Every single one of you. So self-love and coming back to that, finding it, whether you do it with music and sound, or whether you do it in all the myriad of ways that all these different perspectives, even this whole 3 days is coming to you, but it is so important to remember first that, so I'll give you just a for instance that I really, the self-loathing I had was epic. Like the desire for suicide was acute. And as I've been on this journey, what I've realized is that would be like slapping God in the face. And I don't mean God from a religious perspective, but the point is, if I'm an aspect of, so I look at healing frequency as first navigating the thought patterns really first, from my perspective, because we have been fed the matrix, like we've all talked about. The beliefs we have about who we are make-believe. But yet, the last trimester to the first 7 years of life, the programming is in. And the bus is on autopilot. But if I give my inner child permission to ride the bus, she can't reach the pedals, and she's going to go straight into a brick wall. So I need to be driving the bus, and I need to integrate those pieces.
Right. Well, thank you. And you speak light language. You do.
I
So
do share light language and singing and all that.
we will come back to some of that singing and light language. And so my good friend Moss, you talk a little bit about, you know, the energy frequencies that you help people understand, but then we'll also do a demonstration. So I'll cue you. But go ahead, talk about it.
Oh, okay, great. If you really think about it, you know, a lot of us who are trying to heal, whether it's, you know, financial or health-wise or anything like that, if we just step back a little bit, I mean, right here we've got 7 different modalities. There's probably millions of different modalities that are out there, or that have been out there. Is right for you. Well, I step back a little bit with you and go, wait a second. Do you know what receptor cells are? For example, receptor cells, like if you, like magnesium, you have a receptor cell for magnesium. So if you don't have that receptor cell for magnesium, no matter how much magnesium you take, you will not absorb, it will not benefit you. So in this case, when I see people over the 14 years, gosh, probably 100,000 client sessions, my therapies aren't based on time, they're based on frequency. I see that most people don't have the receptor cells for, say, love, or healing, or connection, or wealth. So no matter what, say, I don't know, get rich quick scheme that you get to or whatever, even if you got the money, you'd probably lose it because you don't know how to hold on to it or absorb it. So what I do is a little different. I help you go, wait a second, this version, and by the way, your receptor cells are damaged, you know, like generational patterns, what you inherited from your parents, genetic patterns and generational patterns, societal patterns, your life experiences, right? You damage them. So even if you got the love, it won't fit into that receptor cell and you won't experience it. So what I do is I go, and this is where the quantum realm comes in. It's like, wait a second. This version of you over here, say, is a bit damaged from what I just spoke about. This version over here is brand new. Let's activate this version. There are millions of, or billions of different possibilities that you could exist in. Activated. Your light, your essence, your presence activates that. So there's not a million different yous going out there experiencing life. There's just possibilities. You are the only light. So what I do is like, wait a second, this version that, you know, is like cast on stage, spotlight, maybe not the best, it's got cancer or whatever. But this version over here, this version is cancer-free, for example. It can absorb love. So you've got point A where you are, and I shift you to point B. I give you that, say, Google map, this frequency maps. And once you're there, then you attract the modalities like these wonderful people have, and you will accelerate way beyond, you know, what they can even offer.
So, great. Do you want to do a little shifting of frequencies? How about getting the parasites out of us? It's been feeding good, or whatever you want. But
Of course.
when you want to stand up, because don't you work like on your feet? I mean, you could stand. Okay. Or can you hold the microphone? Okay. Because we don't want to. Okay. Okay.
So we'll just do a quick run through here. It's very, very quick. So take a deep breath in. I'll guide you into a state. And this is what I do with the hyper meditation that I talk about. And I'll put you into, say, the best possible space you can be in. So the most, say, present moment time, and then the best reality. So I'm not hypnotizing you, not relaxing you, but 1, 2, 3. Just notice how you might feel right now. Okay, those are the frequencies that we're always generating. I'm just generating it, say, more extreme for you, which pushes you into your best possible version of who you could be. Take a breath in. And notice whatever problem you want to heal from. Doesn't matter. Just notice where that exists in your realm. And then notice that most of you are trying to fix the problem. The surface level. go deeper, if you look into that problem, and I'll help you out, breathe in. Where was that origin of that problem? You don't nip it in the bud there, you'll never get over that problem. And look back. It's probably not even your problem, is it? If you really look back, it's just something that you inherited. I think from your mom and dad, or even some of you with grandparents. Breathe. Right here, right now, whether you believe it or not, doesn't really matter. Can I help you delete that pattern or the core level issue that's running in your system? Is that okay for you? Take a breath in. Now, it takes a little time for your biology to catch up with your frequency that just changed. But if you maintain this frequency, you will find or attract the right solution for you. And then it gets resolved for real. So it's not a never-ending cycle. And you keep doing that, and well, it's not about fixing yourself, it's about what possibilities could be out there for you. How are you all feeling?
Great. Thank you, Mom. Okay, keep this vibration happening. We'll turn to Aurora and give us a little vibration as she comes with your voice. Same, let's sing. Now Amy's gonna
Tulasian tukulaha, satu si gunung trukuaha, shanu minumia trakaha, satu lukumu trukuaha. Imagine you're sitting in front of a crystalline pool, and you can just jump right in. Whatever's causing the mind to be out of harmony, allow the crystalline energy to wash through the mind, and allow it to wash through the heart, and allow it to wash through the pelvic bowl, and then through your whole body and being, body, mind, and soul. Lucia, Shakun Nukunia, Trakaha, Sanu Trekia Siahu, Shanu Takamusimia, Shanu Takamusimea Kanukayatia, Sakunia Tekumuha, Trakaha, Satu. Timia Tokotua Shana. Exhaling out. Another nice deep breath in. Exhaling out. One more time. Shikusia, Tania Tuhu. And then there's an animal spirit guide that has some medicine for you. If you'd like to receive it, just take a nice deep breath in. Sumia, Shaku, Raha, Sakian, Mutua, Raha. And then the masters, teachers, and loved ones are saying, the reflection in the pool is your purest form. See your purest form, your highest potential. Don't allow distortion in the view. See it, be it, own it. You are pure, you are whole, you are a whole heart, you are a whole soul, you are a whole brain. Onua, Sia. Now open up your crown chakra above your head and allow all of these codes to pour in like liquid gold, moving through the center of your body. And as it moves through the center of your body, it's clearing, cleansing, and removing any blocks, any tension, anything that no longer serves you. As it passes through the bridge, the heart center, allow your heart to shine forwards and backwards and all around you as you allow these codes to surround you with unconditional love. Coming into your back, flowing out your front, flowing all around you. Beautiful. And keep that going, and then continue down your pillar in the center of your body, going into the belly. Letting your body know that it is safe to receive all of these codes, that you are free, that you are whole, that you are light. Allow these three chakras to receive these codes. Breathe into them. And breathe out light. Good. Now allow the energy again to flow in through your back, out in front of you, and all around you as we stabilize through line architecture. Again, in the third dimension, allow you to hold, contain, and embody these codes in the here and now. This is not something you visit. This is something that you resonate with. Good. Allow that to keep flowing. Now continue the energy moving out your at the base of the spine, moving down into your Earth Star chakra, igniting your Earth Star chakra, cleaning, clearing it, sending it again unconditional love and these high frequency codes. Ooh, that feels yummy. And automatically now see that platform beneath your feet. It's a very bright silver. Allow it to expand all around you. You can just feel it. And allow that energy to go all around you again, cleaning, clearing, and updating your frequency, updating your codes, bringing out. I am here, I am present, I am light, I am whole, I am healthy. Love is not something we are reaching for. It's your vibration, it's your life, it's your truth. Good. Now allow the energy from your Earth Star chakra below your feet to travel down to the center of the Earth's core and connect to the crystalline grid of Mother Gaia. Good. Now I want you to imagine yourself as a conduit, like an acupuncture needle, and allow all these codes to move through you. Oh, that feels good. Move through you as you're watering and giving Mother Gaia these codes. Bringing her consciousness, reminding you that you're a star seed, and you're bringing the consciousness, the codes, the high frequency into this in your energy field. You're grounded, you are light, you are whole, you are present. And surrender. Allow your chakras, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the soul, the root ball to shine forwards, backwards, right to left. Feel yourself expanding, but you're contained within your own frequency, within your own light body, within your own cocoon. And feel how you're creating this energy now to calm your nervous system, to go into your cells, to go into your bones, to go into your DNA, update your DNA to your authentic frequency. You're present. Ooh. Feels so yummy when more of you comes online. It's like, whoa. Feel the outer layer of your energy field, that golden layer. Seal any holes, any rips, any tentacles. Reclaim your space. You have all the power. There's nothing over you. You're reclaiming your space, your energy, your frequency. Just blast it, the gold all around you.
Thank you. My God. Well, now that we've created this great vibration container, what am I going to do over here at the side of the aisle? No, but stay there. Don't too much. Just be in that. So, Dr. Hornell, when people have created this container, how can they ground it and take it home with them?
Yeah, that's really important. Drinking water will help with currency. Taking your shoes off and getting in the dirt or the sand or the earth in general is really good. There's all kinds of really good grounding devices. She's here and she loves us and I love all the plants. And if you use essential oils, that's another way, especially tree oils, like frankincense, myrtle, rosemary, some of those other kind of grounding type essences will help get right into the DNA. And I do a lot of blood analysis, so I can tell if it's a real oil and if it really does penetrate those 13,000 cells or not. And a lot of them are just fake and they don't really work, but if you have a real essential oil,
Thank you.
Into the cells, you're welcome, and really help you out. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks, because I think, we just went into this kind of healing frequency, so you want to ground, I think grounding, being in nature, nature is right there to help us enliven our bodies and change our consciousness and shift us. Paul, what do you suggest to stay in that frequency of healing and high vibration?
Well, the most important thing to remember is that love is the glue that holds the entire cosmos together. And as a scientist, you can, go there. For me, that's the basic underlying principle. So you can always come back.
But when you developed your technology to verify, what did you actually do to create healing frequency? How did you do it?
So the basic principle was to create the most coherent form. And that was, it has a lot to do with the structure in the fields around the body. And essentially, through the plasma, it's a fractal antenna. And the particular configuration of the Verify itself utilizes two counter-spinning vortices that create a charge collapse at the center. And being a perfect fractal antenna, it emits other toroidal fields around it. So little miniature plasmoids is a popular word that's kind of come back. Originally coined by Winston Bostic in the 50s. And now that we have a greater understanding of that, these charge clusters or exotic vacuum objects are the key to many of these things. So what essentially the Verify is doing is creating this charge cluster element. And you can do that, you can imprint those things, and it's part of the conscious way of imprinting different things. Like the crystal ball, you physically put vitamin D in there, but also with your intentions. And we worked a lot with that over the years imprinting crystals, really inspired by Marcel Vogel. And Marcel's biggest thing was, what's the best thing that you could imprint in there? And Marcel would say, pure, unconditional love.
How would you put that in there?
Yeah, we use various high-tech forms of plasma and light and water and vortices.
And feeling, right? You
And
actually,
crystals. And so, yeah, so one of the other things, and I'd like to share this now because it will fit in with some of the things we studied a lot of Sanskrit mantras, and we would also work with mantras and imprint with mantras into the crystals as well as the water. And one of the ones we always use, which might fit in with where everybody's at, with how we're set up here, is called the celestial physician. And this is sort of an invocation of this celestial physician who can come and help you with anything in your life.
you want to do it? We love that.
Om Trayambakam Nijamihe Sugandhinim Pushtivarinam Vanambanam Lakshmi Pushtivarinam Om.
What did we just invoke there?
The celestial physician.
I just, and what will that do for us?
It's a healing mantra that is universal and of course.
Thanks Paul for being here. Okay, my friend Raffaele, why don't you take, I'm just curious, could you take us through one of these non-psychedelic, psychedelic journeys that happened with your machine? Like what happens to the body, or did you want to say something else?
I'm gonna,
Okay.
yeah, that's awesome that you asked that, but I also want to make a point because everything that just happened here is so beautiful, and I wish I could like follow it.
You can, we're selling bottles of it outside.
So here's the thing though, you're gonna step out, in here the energy is really good, but you're gonna step out onto the street later in the world. The idea is to keep your vibration as high as possible, and the little anecdote that I always use, and I'm a proof, so you get in your car, and there's a bug on your windshield, and you start driving, and that bug is on the windshield, you're driving a little faster, and that bug is holding on, and it's holding on, and then finally you get on the highway, and now you're like, I'm gonna see how fast I can go, this bug's like really holding on, right? And then finally, the bug flies away. And that's our energy column. If we can raise our vibration consistently by doing little things, imagine those bugs are negative energies. Imagine those bugs are disease. Imagine those bugs are people that want to come into your life and be toxic. If you raise your vibration a little bit every time by doing all of these things, by drinking good water, by eating good food, by taking care of your health, then that negative stuff is going to have a lot harder time sticking to you. The way that works into what I do is that most people try to meditate, and they can't, because we've got too many inputs now. It's just too loud. Outside, inside, the device is going off, our world's 100 times busier than they used to, if not more. So to be able to shut off what's going on is key. And that's what this kind of sensory overload thing we do with the sound, light, and vibration together. It keeps everything busy. And when you do that, you can get to a place, believe it or not, with all that stuff going on, where you're actually quiet.
Yeah, so when we lay down, talk about laying down your machine and what happens, to seeing, hearing, feeling. How does that transform us? And describe the process that you create.
So you're going to lie down. We're going to put a beautiful heavy blanket on you, so you're going to feel like you're getting hugged away. Headphones, and your eyes are closed. The surface is a vibroacoustic table, and we are going to be flickering patterns of light through our device. They're fractals, they're sacred geometries, they're kaleidoscopic effects. They're colors you can't even imagine in a crayon box. So you're going to see with your eyes closed. You're literally going to see with your eyes closed.
And some people say they can see the room, some people say the third eye pops open, but all of this is this music, this all of the Tesla harmonics, all the solfeggio harmonics, because we are instruments, our bodies are instruments, and we can play our nervous system to create anything we want.
We have a little testimony here.
I wanted to say that I tried your bed last year.
Hopefully you didn't get any parasites.
No, but what I loved about it was it feels like a mushroom trip, right? But I found that like, in certain times my body would tense up, and because the bed vibrates, all okay. All of a sudden it loosens things up. Like I didn't realize I was holding tension in my back, or I didn't realize I was holding tension in my shoulders. So the mixture of seeing something, hearing something, makes you more aware of what's happening in your body and allowing yourself the space to.
Speaking of letting go, I need to excuse myself for 30 seconds.
All right. Well, while he's gone, well, no, but I'm interested. So we're here. We kind of reached the kind of midpoint. But does anyone have a question? Anyone have a situation, a healing? We're here with amazing healers. Not that you have to share too much, but if you had something you wanted to ask about, or you have a question, yes. All right. AD?
Yes. Yeah, I was like, yes. Yeah.
But does anyone have anything they want to share about themselves, like a question about maybe what a vibration can do? Don't be shy, we're all friends. Okay, back here, come up.
We got a microphone.
Oh, we have a microphone coming, okay. That person there. Because I think this is a chance to talk to experts here, so thank you. And then we'll come back to our panel. So if you want to direct your question, or is this a general question, it's fine, so, okay.
So I guess my question is more along the lines of everyone talks about surrendering, like just surrendering and let go. Like what are like some techniques or things that you guys use to do that?
All right, you want to, you got something? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know, Hawkins.
Yeah, well, tell her.
I studied Dr. David Hawkins. Are you familiar with his work? He has an amazing book called Letting Go. And what he does is let's say it's fear. If you are living in fear over a certain situation, you start asking questions like, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And you like try to make it as big as possible. You invite it in and really, really feel it out. Because if you feel it like fully and just make it like even bizarre extremes, like, okay, the worst case scenario, I would die. Okay, it's like, okay, well, that might not be so bad. You know, if you get to that point, it's like, okay, well, if that's the worst case scenario, I'm probably gonna bounce back. And you'll feel your body kind of shift. But I have the same question too, I'm like, surrender. Like, how do you surrender? Like give me the details.
Well, we're going to ask some experts here. How do you surrender, Maurice?
So the first thing I do is check in with my body. So the minute I react, I feel that fear or that anxiety come up, and normally I just let it play out. Now instead of letting it play out, automatically check in with your body. Where am I feeling it? So I'm like, oh, my throat just tightened. My belly just dropped. And I get curious about it, because automatically now that gives me a different perspective. I have more of an awareness instead of just being in it. And then I allow the emotion to kind of bubble up and move through me, again, with no judgment. And when you allow fear, shame to bubble up and you're aware with it, now it's like you're giving it the space to move. So you're surrendering to the emotion, because maybe that was a trapped emotion from childhood. And now that we're bringing in so much light, you're actually giving yourself the space of feeling safe enough, contained enough to let that emotion go. So I also treat it like, not that I'm going backwards, but like, oh, I'm finally ready to feel this and let it go. I have the courage to face it. So it's that inner voice too that I tie in. Like, look at us, we have the ability right now to let this go. And again, don't get into the story, feel it, and I let it move, and I watch it, and then I, again, add some love to it, and I feel again when I surrender to that, all of a sudden get that flush of love. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I used to think we're supposed to fly away, right? The minute you feel that sugar, normally you're like, I gotta get out of here. And I thought, oh, I've been doing it backwards the whole time. You're supposed to actually sit with it. And that was
Right.
key. Sit with it, watch it, let go.
Right. Feel, you do. Yeah.
Write that down.
Okay. Amy, what do you say?
So, 3 C's, 2 F's. Let's do it right now. Think of the most negative thing you can think of. Got it? And then close your eyes and actually feel it. I want you to feel the emotion that's attached to whatever that thought was, whatever that thing is. And I want you to feel the emotion and breathe it in. And then you're going to cancel it. Stamp it void. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale out. And then you're going to choose a different thought. What thought do you want that actually supports you in this moment? I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm free, I'm at peace. And then feel that feeling attached to that thought. And really feel it in your body. And lift the corners of your mouth. Like really let that feeling in. And exhale out. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. You can't hold a negative thought and a positive thought at the exact same time. It's impossible. And I'm not saying to not address and go into the positive. You actually have to feel the emotion. And whatever that emotion is, because it might be a really big chapter in your life, like I had the most awful pregnancy of my life. I was on bed rest. I had emergency surgery at 20 weeks. I had to surrender to that experience, and not for a day. It was an 18-week surrender. Otherwise, I was going to die. My baby was going to die. So it was forced upon me to rest, and that is usually the hardest thing for people to do. And so it's coming back to the feeling that you actually want to feel, and not just thinking about the feeling, but actually feeling the feeling. And once you do that, you can shift out of that old frequency and into the new one.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Aurora, do you want to share?
Definitely not as big as that. Wow, thank you, sister, right? So my awareness is that when someone makes it through something like that, you put the potentiality into collective consciousness that we can all do something like that, so thank you. Leading up to this journey, literally, I wasn't sure I was going to make it here because my dog, so not a baby, but he's my baby.
And it's a beautiful dog.
Thank you. He's my person. He's 95-pound wolf dog, so he's practically a person. He started throwing up and just wouldn't stop, and then he was throwing up blood. And my dog sitter's there, like I'm ready to leave town, and I didn't know what to do. And my awareness was surrender was my only option. I couldn't even get to a vet because the closest emergency vet is almost 2 hours away. Driving him would put him in more angst and trauma. And when I vet in my town, I was on a waiting list and they never called. So I was literally sitting there with him saying like, okay, whatever your soul is to, like, this was, by the way, the day before my birthday, which was the eclipse. So it was just all the perfect storm of things with the awareness that there was nothing I was going to be able to do. I was literally sitting in surrender saying, if we need to go to a doctor, the doctor's going to come. I kept getting guidance what to do, but it was hard to hear at first. You can ask, one of my friends is in the audience. I called all the friends, all the psychic friends. What's happening? Is he leaving? Is he staying? And of course, no one can tell you, even, right? Your medicine is going to present itself to you to help you understand that everything is happening in divine order. And that's a tough pill to swallow. But the truth is, the quantum field, the first rule of the quantum field is that everything is source. And that's everything. Everything we're watching happen in the world is source having itself or themselves, or however you want to express that, as an experience in 8 billion people. With the most amount of love and the most removed from love. And so all I could do was sit in the space of love, offer him that love and hold space for him. And in order to hold space for him, I had to work through the emotion of it. Is he staying? Is he going? I let go and said, it's not in my hands. So generally as humans, we want to control everything. And the illusion of grandeur is that we do control things. We think we control everything until these moments in this liminal space where we have absolutely no control over what's going to happen next.
Yes, what happened to the dog?
He's alive and well.
Oh, is he? What happened? No,
I reached out to my community and asked for prayer. Actually, I didn't ask for prayer. I asked from a friend, and then she posted it on Facebook, and like 100 people responded to it. And I was so moved by that alone. Because here it is, like Iran, Minnesota, and like my dog. Like, there's lots of things to pray for, and it was just beautiful that a community of people showed up. And he didn't just make it. I think what he was doing was actually shedding energy for me to be here, right? Whatever I was holding on to, that I wasn't letting go, and whatever my beliefs were, he was helping me get to the next octave of my own expression. But
Wow.
he's okay, gently, right? So, but he wanted to go to the lake and walk around, so he's doing okay.
Moss, can you give us a frequency of letting go? I mean, or do you not do that?
Sure. If the person asking the question,
Yeah.
if she wants to get specific.
Or do you want to get specific about what do you want to let go of?
Then I can do that as well.
And for the room too?
Yeah, for the room and for you specifically. Maybe a lot of people run this way. So if you don't mind me reading it, things or holding on to things really, really tight. No matter what it is, whether it's a concept, a belief system, a person, sometimes it gets suffocating because you love people so much, no offense, but I'm just seeing your patterns. I could be wrong. So if you're trying to surrender, you literally hold on and latch on to the concept of surrender, which is the opposite of surrendering, and that's your problem. And that issue came, it's not even yours from what I'm seeing, it just seems like your mom at around 2 or 3 years of age, she kind of had a, say, a breakdown, and she latched on to you, and it made you feel safe. And ever since then, that component of, oh, I need to latch on to something to feel safe, that's the component, and it won't let you say surrender. If I can help you disconnect, I can help a lot of you if you want.
Yeah, we're here for that.
We're all like,
Take a breath in. By the way, it seems like you have lower back. Yeah. We'll work on that as well. Okay. So take a breath in. And notice what you're trying to surrender. Or let's go a step deeper. Why are you surrendering? What are you running away from that's holding you back? Now we're getting deeper. So notice what shows up. Take a breath in again. And notice wherever it shows up for you in your body or in your field, just arms length around you. Sometimes surrender might not be a good thing, because if you surrender, what happens is that you get absorbed and you get sucked into whatever you're trying to run away from, escape. So instead of surrendering, can we just let go of whatever you're trying to say escape from? Is that okay? Breathe in. So surrendering this concept. Imagine that you're like tied to something, and you keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and you're going, why can't I surrender? But if you just relax, I'll help you relax. 1, 2, 3, and let some slack on that rope. And you can probably easily just unlatch yourself rather than trying to pull. Can you experience that? Just unlatching, you can just relax and just like step back into whatever you're walking away from. Take a breath in. Can you see yourself unlatching, unhinging, untying, and you're free? You can take a deep breath in and, well, just feel more relaxed or surrendered into your highest self. Because surrender is actually a good thing. As long as you're surrendering to your best possible version in that next moment. Not as an escape mechanism. Breathe. How does that feel for you, that stillness?
Well, thank you. This month, thank you. One little shift in myself. Okay, one question and have a, yeah, you with the hand, yeah, stand up. We'll give you mine. We'll give right here, this mic. Here we go.
I'm just wondering if each of you are, and wisdom and knowledge is brilliant. I just wondered if quickly you could go through each person and say, what knowledge and wisdom do you have for getting rid of the darkness, the stress, the tension, all the things that prevent us from being fulfilled with bliss, happiness, and joy?
That's a great question, but before we go there, because that's sort of a wrap-up sort of thing, I just want to ask my friend Anthony Durasmos to say something about vibration. He's a vibrational healer from New York, and then we'll get to the last question. This is Anthony, and just comment.
Thank you very much, Alan. Alan's a dear friend in the state of New York. I am in awe to be amongst the panel of experts here, and I'm grateful for this brief opportunity. The law of vibration, everyone, is what we're talking about, where everything is frequency, everything vibrates. Every thought, every emotion, every cell vibrates to a specific frequency. And when you are aware, it's so many things I could pick from everyone here, resonate with everyone. It starts with the physical, where we're an antenna. And when our antenna is assembled, the physical body is a channel, and we open that channel to receive from our higher self, which brings forth the I am, the know who you are, and makes you very aware of the law of one, that we are all connected. Consciousness is within a field, a plasma field, and that energy is what binds us and is love. And so when we think about frequency, the most important frequency is love, which transcribes into so many other and down the line. But when we are physically aligned, we are open channels to receive. And frequency, sound tools, what I do biofield tuning, I do bowls and gongs, and all with an intuitive, just being stagnant energy to prepare the way to be aligned to receive who you are. It's important to understand that it's just a tool. There are many tools and modalities that we can choose from to be able to take ourselves online, to be able to activate our antenna to receive. The biggest tool is your choice of what we choose to feed our thoughts, to feed our reality. Every cell in your body is conscious. As Aurora said, we are 70% water. Man is made of water. And so we are conscious beings that hold a code of consciousness within us. And when we do self-negative talk, We are talking about ourselves in a light that is not in alignment with our higher selves. The goal is to remember who we are, and that connection, when we are in alignment, will bring forth the knowledge of who you are. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, thank you. So, give the microphone, I appreciate that. Give the microphone back to this gentleman who just asked that last question before. I appreciate it. Okay. See, the sound is all around us. Here is it. Okay.
I've been a teacher of meditation for 50
Just stand up for a second.
I've been a teacher of meditation for 52 years, and I'd love to hear what each of you need to help yourself get rid of tension, stress, darkness, a lot of the things which we have are full of our psyche, which we don't want, but are there from our just living encounters, how we use to get rid of that so we can experience our inner self.
Okay, great. This will be kind of a final round, so right now.
Not a 20-minute thing, just a quick scenario.
Well, we'll give you what we got. Okay, you want to start over here?
Yeah, so, there were so many voices in our head. You know, we had this like entire committee in there that we didn't put there. So a lot of the time I'll just ask myself, who's talking right now? You know, just take a beat and just say, who's talking right now? Because usually it's the loudest voice that gets out. And when you recognize that, that can sometimes let you know why you're feeling what you're feeling. But what I do, I was given this beautiful little song at a grief workshop that I went to. And it goes like this. Loosen, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go.
So you've been meditating for 50 years, and you said you're still looking for that help for you, sir? You want to ask the question? Yeah. You. I'm just curious, your process.
I also have a hearing issue, so.
Oh, what was your process of why you asked the question? I'm just curious.
Wanted people to just,
Oh.
each of them to go through a quick, like he did, quick synopsis of what they use to get rid of inner tension, darkness, and stuff, so they can experience our deep self, our inner body.
Great, okay. Paul?
Yeah, for me, it's like a process of